June 19, 2024. My name is Fabian Kuya presenting and these are the top stories. Liberia and China signed Memorandum of Understanding to strengthen bilateral cooperation in agriculture. Civil Service Agency Director General Josiah Jokai proposes inclusion of LBS correspondents on government payroll. Big boost for Liberia's human rights credential as Independent National Commission of Human Rights elevated to A status on human rights performance. In Chad, a senior government minister has confirmed the killing and injuring of unspecified number of people after a huge fire broke out at an ammunition depot. These stories and much more, including sports, the weather report, the news in French and simple English. But first, Emmanuel Colley and the news bulletin.
Liberia and China have signed a memorandum of understanding to strengthen bilateral cooperation in agriculture. The MOU seeks to promote bilateral trade to diversify agricultural products and increase the overall growth for both nations. Here it is, Agriculture Minister Dr. Elbc Nuta describing Wednesday's signing ceremony as a milestone to enhancing food security in Liberia. According to the release, the MOU will last for 5 years with an automatic extension after the elapse of the 5-year period. Meanwhile, the MOU is expected to also focus on human capacity development, features in aquaculture, seafood production, animal husbandry, livestock, and poultry, among others. Meanwhile, at least 20 young Liberian extension officers have departed the country to undergo a 3-week agricultural technology and management training in Beijing, China. It followed vigorous negotiations between the governments of Liberia and China in February this year to help reform the agriculture sector of Liberia. A release quotes Agriculture Minister Dr. Elbc Nuta saying the move signifies China's commitment to boosting agricultural productivity and fostering sustainable development in Liberia. Dr. Nuta also expressed heartfelt gratitude to the Chinese government for the training while describing it as a specialized and tailored program for Liberia. Meanwhile, Dr. Nuta is urging participants of the training to utilize the opportunity for the improvement of the country's agriculture sector. President Joseph Boakai has congratulated his South African counterpart Cyril Ramaphosa on his re-election as president of that nation. According to a foreign ministry release, President Boakai, on behalf of the government and people of Liberia, extended warm compliments to President Ramaphosa on his re-election to the country's highest seat. The Liberian leader described the re-election of President Ramaphosa as a manifestation of the trust and confidence reposed in him by the people of South Africa. He expressed the hope that a cordial ties of friendship and cooperation subsisting between the two nations will be further strengthening the spirit of African solidarity. A Liberian residing in the Netherlands has been arrested and sent to the Monrovia Central Prison for being in possession of narcotics drugs. Suspect Rita Williams, aged 56, was arrested at a Clay checkpoint in Bombing County by officers of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. The LDA officers confiscated the drugs as she was traveling woven maroon suitcases from Guinea via Sierra Leone to Liberia. The street value of the 1.9 kilograms of cocaine substances is put at over 100,000 US dollars or 19 million equivalent in Liberian dollars. Suspect Rita is charged with trafficking of controlled drugs, unlicensed sale, delivery, and distribution. The Independent National Commission on Human Rights, the INCHR, has achieved A status for its work to improve human rights issues in Liberia. The Global Alliance for Human Rights Institutions and International Monitoring Organization for Human Rights Situations upgraded the INCHR to the A status after years of evaluation. The A status means that the Liberian Human Rights Commission complies with the 1993 Paris Principle that calls for every nation to protect human institutions to the independent monitor and investigate human rights violations. Announcing the achievement in Monrovia Wednesday, INCHR Chairman Councillor Dexter Brown said the upgrade signifies that Liberia has respect for human rights and the rule of law.
Obtaining A status for every country in Africa and the world is a landmark achievement. It proves that the Commission is in full compliance with the Paris Principle adopted by the UN General Assembly in 1993.
Consider Brand described the feat as a landmark achievement for the Independent National Commission on Human Rights and Liberia. At the same time, the Independent National Commission on Human Rights and Liberia Coalition of Human Rights Defenders are calling on the government to disengage from every form of interference at the Human Rights Commission. The call comes as it is reported that the executive has established a committee to probe the internal impasse at the Human Rights Commission. But addressing the issue Wednesday, INCHR chair, Councillor Dexter Brown said the move is against the standard operating procedure of the commission. For his part, the chairman of the Liberia Coalition of Human Rights Defenders, Theodota Tober, said the interference of the government to investigate the Human Rights Commission's internal wrangling saga amounts to compromising the independence of the commission.
If there is a standoff in their mitigation, they should refer to civil society or eminent persons in the society. They should not compromise their independence. So we see as from the end of the civil society that the government is trying to interfere, and we need to resist that.
Mr. Turber has meanwhile called for the protection of human rights defenders in Liberia as the country has entered a critical period of rights advocacy. Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services LIGIS has donated 16 tablets and power banks to the Liberia Immigration Service LIS. The tablets are intended to enhance LIS data collection and the movement of people across the borders of the country. LIS Director General Richard Gaffon said the gadgets are equipped with cutting-edge technology specifically designed to be used by border staff.
It is a great pleasure to be within the ramparts of the Liberia Immigration Service to present to you these 16 tablets as our initial contribution and support to the Liberia Immigration Service, and we shall upscale this to the 30 remaining borders.
Mr. Gavin called for interagency collaboration between LIGIS and LIS as the immigration service play a critical role in migration activities that affect population change. He noted that the 16 tablets is an initial support targeting 16 entry border points, while the next phase will target the remaining 30 border points across the country. Meanwhile, the Liberia Immigration Service Commissioner General Stephen Zago has commended LIGIS for the gesture. Commissioner Zago described the gadgets as a significant aimed at increasing the productivity of data collection. Commissioner Zago spoke Wednesday at the headquarters of the LIS during the donation of 16 tablets and power banks from the Liberia Institute for Statistics and Geoinformation Services.
Now that they've provided the tablet for us, they have shifted the responsibility to us as an institution that upon our tax. We need to remain engaged as an institution. They just have played their part, they remain engaged with them. As long as we got the breath of life here and we enjoy the company of the president, let us LI do is open always.
Commissioner Zago said the entity will use the materials for the purpose intended. And the Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission, the LERC, has directed Elbc Energy to address technical concerns regarding electricity supply in the southeastern region. The directive followed a month-long technical assessment of Elbc Energy operations in the southeast. Elbc Energy, a joint venture company contracted by the Liberia Electricity Corporation to supply electricity in the southeast and parts of Nima from Cote d'Ivoire, was instructed by the LERC to present a comprehensive smart plan within 10 days to address technical issues in the area. Reading the directive Wednesday, LERC, the board chair, Dr. Lawrence Sigajibo, said the Elbc Energy's request for extension of end-user tariff application was denied.
Following the meeting, the Board of Commissioners issued the following directives. LIB Energy is to present to the Commission a comprehensive smart plan within 10 working days on how it will address technical issues and recommendations contained in the technical inspection report conducted by the Commission.
Dr. Sikajiro, however, said the company has been directed to submit request documentations to commence the tariff applications process by the end of July 2024. He said Leap Energy is to soon begin the immediate metering of customers in its service areas and restore power to Diana K. Inspection School of Midwifery in Zoju, Grand Jide County.
In the news bulletin, he returns a little later, hopefully with the weather report and foreign news. One of the big stories to follow in Civil Service Agency Director General Josiah Jokai proposes inclusion of LBS correspondents on government payroll. To this one, the Independent National Commission of Human Rights has achieved A status for its work to improve human rights issues in Liberia. The Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institutions, an international monitoring organization for human rights institutions, upgraded the INCHR to A status after years of evaluation, Chap Davis reports.
Liberia is among 21 African countries that